Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Footy Channel Groundhopper, and we've got another non-league show. We've got a special guest waiting in the background, but before we get into that, if you do enjoy tonight's show, don't forget to smash that thumbs up. Follow Sean the Sheep there and hit them thumbs up as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic. If you are brand new at the channel, come in, hit that subscribe, come be part of this great community. Also hit the bell notification. That'll let you know when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows as well. You can always become a member. It's 99p. You can do that by clicking the join button. And if you want to make a donation, do that in the chat, clicking on the dollar sign with all money reinvested in the channel. So I've got the usual suspect on tonight. James, unfortunately, I haven't got John tonight, but how are you, James? Okay?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, absolutely fine. It's a bit cold at the minute, but it is supposed to be a little bit warmer at the weekend, but it's only about 7 degrees apparently the weekend. So, yeah. Right. Without further ado, let's bring our guest in, and it is the assistant manager of Bury Town, and it is Paul Musgrove. Here he comes. Hi, Paul. You okay, mate?
Yeah. Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, fine, mate. Fine. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just strange to see you at the other end of a screen rather than chatting at a game. So yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, because normally I chat you at the games, don't I? So yeah, it's it's different, isn't it? And we've got somebody in the chat on Adventure saying hi, everybody. Hi to you, mate, as well. So yeah, I'm going to come to you, Paul. I mean, obviously, tell us a bit about your career, where you started your footballing career off as a player, and then obviously into managerial and coaching.
I'm sure we'll go a little bit back in the timeline, then in a time warp. No, I'll just skim through it briefly. So I started as a youngster, just at Ipswich Town. I was there from 9 until 16. Didn't get taken on as apprentice, so I left there, and then after hopping around at a couple of clubs, I then decided that I'd go into non-league football and then try and earn a crust going out to work and playing football. So I did that. Started with Walshamley. Well, I started actually at Bury Town, funnily enough. Yeah. And then I left there and went off to Walshamley Willows and had a really good, successful time there. And then, like I said, from there, it just, like I said, I'd always had aspirations just to try and get back up as high as I could. And then reality sort of kicks back in, doesn't it? So I did that, and then obviously I went off to Needham Market for a spell. Jumped back to Walsham, and then went to Mildenhall Town before I left there to go back to Walsham. And then I finished my playing career there, and off I went to Stowmarket Town. And start my managerial career. So yeah, in a very brief nutshell, without boring everybody, that's sort of like how it goes. You sort of fall out of a pro club, and sort of reality hits, which I think this is probably a really striking conversation. You can sort of resonate with a lot of youngsters. Yeah, and we've got a few that have come out of the pro game, and it's really still really hard. I'm not sure the support's really there still, if I'm honest. For people that do fall out of a pro club, but again, with Cole's fantastic career that he's had, and the career that my path journey went, actually I think we cope with it quite well with lads coming to us and how we treat them.
Yeah, so getting onto that, I mean, when Cole took over at Bury Town and asked you to become his assistant, how did that become about?
Yeah, it was obviously I'd had a successful period at Stowmarket Town as assistant and then manager. And once I'd left there, I'd had 4 months just going to watch games locally, like just non-league. And then the Bury, I'm only sort of 15 minutes from Bury. It was always potentially a job that I'd always like, or a club I'd like to be involved in. But when Cole got the job, we had a mutual friend, Dave Williams, actually, who's at Leiston, heavily involved at Leiston. He actually put us in contact together, and we had a conversation, and it just sort of developed from there.
Yeah, and it's been a great story since then, hasn't it? I mean, We've had some great results, and the fan base is great there as well. Berrytown always gets great attendances, and I just want to go back to the game, because obviously this is a game that's going to live long in the memory of a lot of people, a lot of Berrytown fans, yourselves, the players, and it was a huge day, and that was back in May, the playoff final against Brighton Sea Regent. Now I'm going to be honest with you, Paul. It was the final I didn't want, because the reason being was because obviously Berrytown's close to me, so because I'm not far from Berrytown, but also I'm good friends with Salts as well, Brighton Sea manager. So when his team beat Felixstowe, and obviously when Bury beat Waltham Abbey, I thought, right, this is Bury versus Brighton Sea. This is going to be a hell of a game, and this is not the game that I wanted. And it really did split me down the middle that day. But I did obviously back a Bury win, to be honest with you. And I know after the game, I spoke with Salts, and he was deeply disappointed, in all honesty, which is fair enough. And he still said to me that we could actually still hurt him, that defeat as well, believe it or not. So, and that's a sign of a good manager as well, because he's done a really good job at Brightland Sea. But yeah, I mean, look, that was a very tight game. It was a sellout. I remember they released a few hundred more tickets. And where I was standing, because obviously I wanted to get a space and I didn't want to move. I think it was during the second half. I just happened to turn and I saw a fella sitting in the tree, and I thought, "Gosh, everybody wants to look at this game." That's how much this game impacted a lot of people, and that those people sitting in trees. I was going to actually pan the camera around. And I thought, no, I better not, in case I disturb the guy or anything. But I don't want to fall out the tree. But that was just one of those games where, it was just cautious all the way through, wasn't it? And then obviously the moment we know what that is, and I'm going to remind everybody of that moment, because this was a fantastic moment in the game. Just excuse my excitable commentary on this, because obviously I just went absolutely crackers when this went in. But here we go. Here's that goal from Ed Upson.
There we have the ball on the attack now. Ed Upson. Yeah! Goal! Hey, Benny, you've got this now. Get in! What a finish! Take a bow. There's not much time left now, and we're over the added time of 3 minutes now. So surely that is Bury going up.
I mean, that was a fantastic finish. The only thing that annoyed Salts that day was his defenders backed off a bit, which gave Ed that space, but you can't take the goal away from Ed, can you? That was a hell of a goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a moment, like I said, that it won't be forgotten for a long time. To be fair, it's even watching that back now gives me goosebumps. And again, the whole day, the build up to it, it's sort of something that you think you can handle it mentally in so many different ways, and how you prepare, and at the end of the day, I don't think, I think it's quite well documented. We didn't beat anybody above us in that top 5. We beat Felixstowe once, and the rest, everybody we lost to home and away. So whatever draw we got in the semi or the final, you'd always feel a little bit concerned because you hadn't managed to get 3 points against them in the season. But like I said, the semi-final was perfect, and the final, like you said, it was a really edgy affair. Anybody and everybody wanted a ticket. Like you said, there was people in trees, there's people hanging over fences just to share the moment, and it was, like I said, it was a moment of genius, really, by Ed. It's something he deserved. We're really close, and it was a magical moment. Like I said, it gave so many people, my family, my girls that had never been to many games, if I'm honest, and experienced nothing like that. It was something we still talk about now. So yeah, it was fantastic, and like I said, it was fair play to Brighton. So they were a tough opposition on the day. Like I say, he's a brilliant manager, and it was just fine moments. Like I said, I think they made a change in midfield, and I think Ed, being the age he is, he still ran off the back of someone to receive that ball and then take a first touch and put it in the top corner. So yeah, brilliant for the town. And like I said, it's something that's really difficult because you having got that success, you want to taste it again, and in football that doesn't come along very often. But now going up the league, we obviously need to we want to taper expectation as well as try and achieve something else with the club.
Yeah, and I mean, thing is, if you're going to win a final, win it with a goal like that. You don't want a scrappy goal going in. You want it going in as a thunderbolt or a screamer. And that was absolutely perfect. We had to win a final. I mean, I don't know what you and Cole were like during the game, because obviously I was focused on watching the game. But I mean, you must have been. Were you nervous during the game, or were you quite content?
Well, if anyone that knows Cole, he's a calm, composed individual, and he sort of imposes that on the rest of us. And again, the older you get, and the more experiences you encounter, it sort of comes upon you that you've got a minimal impact from the side anyway. All your work's done during the week and in the changing rooms. Shouting and bawling on the sideline when it isn't quite going right is only going to create a little bit of chaos and negativity. So Cole's not one for that, and that's sort of, again, that spread amongst us. So yeah, it was tense, but we were probably very tense in a quiet, calm manner. Yeah,
I mean, as I say, it was a really, really tense affair that day. The more it was 0-0, the more I was starting to think, this is going to go all the way. This could go even to penalties, and I was thinking, I hope it doesn't go to penalties, because you don't run a penalty shootout to side a game like that. But Ed came up with the goods just before the end of the game, and the rest is history, as I say.
Yeah, he's certainly written his name in, even just being a Bury boy, but obviously being an exceptional pro for all them years, and then to come back. He was with me at Stowmarket. He's come across to Bury with us, and what a way to finish. And like I say, because he's a Bury St Edmunds boy, I'm sure. And if we go for a night out, he's sort of, probably dines out on that quite a lot, to be honest with you. I don't think he ever buys a drink. Not that he ever did, but he doesn't have to now, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that was his last game as well for Bury Town. And what a way to bow out of your career. Just say, look, I've scored the winner. I'm happy with that. That's me finished now.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it was very much... heart overhead or a friendship overhead, because I kind of knew that could be a possibility. And he took a few weeks to think about it. But as soon as he told me, I knew it was the right decision for him. And from a selfish point of view, you could try and convince him that we still would like him at step 3. But as a friend and in my heart, it was like, no, I can see you're content with your decision, and that was fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously I spoke to yourself after the game, and then I spoke to Ed as well, and that ended up getting soaked as well. I'll pop that on so everybody
didn't you?
Yeah, I'll pop that on now so people can have a laugh at this. So this is me speaking to Ed after the game and then getting soaked.
Have we got what perhaps we deserved at the end there? Yeah, absolutely. That's what we like to say. And I've just been soaked, thank you very much.
At 42 to do that. My God.
Love it. But Ed, I mean, look.
I mean, that was just brilliant. I stunk of champagne, and all I was praying for when I was driving home, I'm thinking, I hope the police don't pull me over, because if they pull me over and I open that window, they're going to say, oh, hang on, you stink of alcohol. And they're probably never going to believe that I got soaked. The only thing I would have had to say is I've got video evidence here, but no, do you know what? That was absolutely fantastic. I didn't mind it getting soaked. Some people I know are saying, oh, I'm surprised you were happy about that. And I said, well, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, when everybody's on a high, that's part and parcel of it, isn't it? And you know, I bet you and Paul got soaked when you got in the dressing room as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you know, when you get to, you're a part of the occasion. You're as much of, a part of the occasion as any of us, because you're putting the content out that you are. And yeah, like I said, it's an amazing moment. And whether you get soaked or not in the, I came out of the change rooms and even my girls said, "Look, Dad, you absolutely stink. I hope you're getting changed." But yeah, celebrations. Like I said, it was probably couldn't drive for 2 days after that till I was sober again. But it was amazing. It was absolutely incredible to be involved with, and exactly what we thought we could achieve. When you go into a club to start off with, you can see the potential, and it was something that we thought we could do. But then it's one thing thinking it and another thing doing it, especially in the short space of your second season as well. And like I said, being from Bury St Edmunds, it's incredible, still incredible to this day. And I've been around people that got the previous promotion for Bury, moons ago before that, friends of mine now, and they talk about their memories of their successes. And hopefully, like I said, going forward, when I'm past it and out of my football phase, if that ever happens, then that people will be talking about it forevermore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, James, what's your thoughts on that goal? What a way to win a final, isn't it?
It's a great way to win a final. It really is. As I say, I went to one final last year near where I live, because I don't live near Tony. But yeah, and that went to penalties, and that was stressful for the fans in that one. So you want to win it in normal time, and that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Have you got any questions for Paul?
No, I'm happy to listen for a second. But no, sorry, carry on.
But when you found out it was Southern League Central Premier, it's a like you say, it's a tough league. Step 3, you've gone up the league. So how did you prepare for that over the summer?
Yeah, it was. It's funny actually, because as you get that success, and I think players are definitely different. But it was almost within sort of a week or so, and that was it. It was sort of switched into preparation mode. You're straight into a lot of recruitment. You start to look at that side. I spend a lot of time doing that. And then you're obviously then preparing for pre-season. So yeah, not long after, you're trying to put your ducks in a row, and try and look at. We were sort of presumed where we would go league-wise, so we started to look at that and prepare for that. And like I said, it's a really, really good league, really good standards, really good players, and some really humble and good managers we've come across, and made new connections that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, I've been to a few games this season. I think the first one I came to was when you played Royston and you beat them at home. That was a hard-fought game, wasn't it, against Royston? And then when you played Spalding, and you're 1-up against Spalding, I really thought you could go on and get a second goal, because just before the half-time, and about that 5-10 minute spell before half-time, you were much the stronger team than Spalding. And how you didn't get a second goal before half-time, I was quite surprised and quite shocked. And then obviously second half came, and then Big Sapolsky got in with a header, and then a bit of sloppiness in defence gave the ball away and give them an easy second goal. And then they had obviously somebody sent off late on, and then again you were the stronger team, but you just couldn't get the equaliser. And I just felt if you'd got that second goal before half-time, you probably would have gone on and won that game comfortably.
Yeah, and most games have probably been like that. They're close encounters, and it's who can capitalise, who can be that more ruthless in the other box. And I don't want to sit here and go, it's like we're sitting in a league position for a reason, that we haven't punished teams enough. It's all right, teams saying you played not right the football the right way and this and that, but we're in our position for a reason. We're not desperate by any means, because we've still got a little bit of a gap between us and the relegation zone. But we want to be picking up more points. We want to be more clinical, and we believe we're not far away from that.
Yeah, I mean, there's an 8-point gap at the moment from the relegation zone to, I think it's Bromsgrove, who are occupying 5th bottom at the moment, because you're just above them. But there's an 8-point gap there. I mean, Sudbury, yeah, they got a win the other night, and but their fan base has dropped off a little bit at Sudbury now. Now, I've seen a lot of posts saying it's because they're charging for car parking. But if they're only charging £2, I can't understand why the fans are unhappy about £2. I mean, if you go to Bury Town, even if you go for a night game, you've still got to pay for about just over an hour's parking for, and nobody seems to complain at Bury. So I'm surprised fans are complaining at Sudbury.
Yeah, Sudbury have clearly stated they've got a few issues, but I don't think that it's as deep as what people might suggest. And if they're only just down the road from us, so again, it's quite easy to look at it and speculate. But they've never been great with crowds, if I'm honest. If you go back in history over the years, it's they've never been. When they've been on a real high, and you're going back quite a few years, they were really bouncing with crowds. Then they went up to step 3, and a good friend of mine was manager at the time, was Rick Andrews. He was there with Angelo Harrop, who's now at Chelmsford, and they were starting to rise. The crowds, were all improving, and what it's like when you're doing well, people are there. So I always feel like their crowds have always gone up and down, whereas we're fortunate enough to, don't get me wrong, the Bury faithful will let you know when they're not happy and probably vote with their feet maybe, but we haven't seen that. We've been lucky enough not to see that, and I hope they see the progression of the club in the last period that we've been there, and people remain grounded that it's a process, and success doesn't happen every season.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about the crowds, I mean, we saw this release tonight as well. I mean, Bury Town there, 4th in the table, 766 in attendances. I mean, obviously, your Healzone and Kettering at the top there with over 1,100, and Worcester obviously getting 800 because of that stadium they're in. But, I mean, every Bury game I've been to, it's always had fantastic support. I mean, even for that game against Lakenheath, which was, a cup game, and there was still over 300 turned out for that game. So, it just shows you the massive support that Bury has, and the support's great there as well.
Yeah, you've just got to look at the big names above us in that little table there, and sort of take a deep breath and again realise where we're at. I truly believe that Bury Town is a minimum of a step 3 football club. It's a fantastic town. It's an affluent town. If you can get as many businesses and footfall behind you, you don't. It's probably limitless of where it could go. So, but it's always like every club faces. It's an uphill battle. You've got to always be on the front foot with your advertising and offering deals and getting things out to local businesses. It's huge, but if you don't try, you don't get, and hopefully we're doing all right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, one guy who we should have had on tonight, John, who unfortunately can't come on tonight. He runs a channel called Game and Blomp, and what he's doing is he's doing a series in this season. So what he's doing is he's going around to every Southern League Premier Central ground. So he's going to do all 22 grounds. And what he's doing is he rates every single ground he's been to so far, and he hasn't been to Bury yet. And I've told him how good Bury Town is. I says, and I hope to say that quite high up in the ratings. I says because it's not me being biased or anything like that, but I think I look at some grounds and I think Bury's got a much better ground, because not only have you got the main clubhouse, and then you've got the burger bar, but you've also got the corner flag bar. Then you've got the tea bar opposite, which sells hot drinks, cold drinks, and all that. And I just think it's well set up.
Yeah.
You go to some places in this league and they've maybe got one little clubhouse and that's about it. But I think Bury's a great little club and it's a great little ground. And I think he's planning on coming in February, so you shall meet him in February.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, hopefully he gives us a good rating. I'm sure you can take him to the burger bar if you're there, mate, and bribe him. But the chairman Russell, his son Chris, and all the fellow directors and people, it's amazing what they do. It's amazing what they do in their own time. That's what they voluntarily do, and if you cut them in half, they bleed blue. And we were just the face of it. We're just the face of what we do. Yes, we've got the team to prepare, but nothing happens without them. You go walking on a match day and everything's clean, and they've wiped all the rails, they've done all the seats in the stands, and nothing's too much trouble. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully he puts us up there with his ratings.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope he does. I mean, you've been to Worcester City this season. I mean, that looks a super stadium, doesn't it?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't make that one. I was on holiday in Cyprus, so I didn't have any time in the summer to get away with the family. So, yeah, I've missed that one, which was one of the ones actually I was really looking forward to going to, because, like you say, that's it looked a really good stadium to go to, and it's what you aspire to be managing and playing in. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But obviously he's got that one top of his ratings at the moment. But hopefully Berrytown can knock it off its perch.
Tell him he's blinded by the stadium and the lights. He needs to sort of get back into the real non-league scene.
I agree.
And not only that, with Bury as well. If you stand at the opposite side of the ground to where you come in at the entrance, you've got the backdrop of the cathedral, which is absolutely lovely as well. And even at night, it's a pretty ground at night, because as I see, when the cathedral's all lit up and everything, it's.
But do you know they light it up Berrytown blue for a reason, for when we're playing home games?
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, adds to the ambience of the ground at a night game.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's brilliant. I have noticed it is blue, but I didn't know what reason that was for. But obviously, now you've mentioned it, yeah.
Have you not seen me with the remote in the dugout?
No. Scott Davies got a question for you, Paul. He says, how are we all? And he says, where do you think Bury can go this season in the league?
Good question. We want to finish as high as reasonably possible. We know we're, fighting against a lot of teams that have got the hybrid system where they're doing a little bit of full time, more hours than we can certainly get in, and we're fighting against budgets. But let's say, to an answer to his question, we'd like to be top half.
Yeah, I mean, did you just have a target in mind at the start of the season? Was it like, let's finish just fifth bottom and then at least we'll stay in that league? Or did you have a target of being higher than that?
I certainly wouldn't be a football assistant manager, and Cole wouldn't be a manager if we came out with that sort of. No, we sat down with the chairman in the summer, and we'd like to finish in the playoffs. That was our target. Whether or not that's us being with rose tinted glasses on or not, but it's something that's just where we want to be. We want to be in the top end of the league, and it won't be through lack of hard work that we get there either this season or next season. Yeah,
I mean, you look at that table and you're technically 9 points off the playoffs, so
yeah.
It's 3 wins away, and as we said off camera, Alvechurch were up there at the earlier in the season. Now they're like down in 15th place. So it just shows you how quick that table can change.
100%. And like I said, we played Alvechurch at home, and we were thought, again, they were probably the first or second best team we thought we'd come up against in terms of athleticism, how they play, the sort of depth of what they've got. Their subs, like say, when they bring the subs on, they're equal to what they're bringing off. So yeah, it shows the swing very quickly, doesn't it? That they're up there, and no doubt that will continue to happen. You just can't fall too many points away. 9 points is probably just about. You can't really fall off that. I don't think if you've got aspirations to jump back up to anywhere near the playoffs, certainly.
Yeah, and I mean at the weekend you're off to Bishop Stortford, which is probably not an easy game, but it's a game you look to go and try and get 3 points from.
Yeah, they had a good result the other night. So it's again, not everybody seems to beat anybody on a given day, and we were told it was like that as well. But when it's not until you're in it, you go actually when you flick your phone on and look at the results and you see you sort of flip your eyes and go, is that really right? So yeah, it's another really tough game, and so they're well established at step 3. So we'll be interesting to see how we sort of acquit ourselves against them. But it won't be, like I said, we won't be deviating too much away from what we do. We're tried and trusted, and we believe in our processes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did say at the start, I did do a preview at the start of the season, and I did say Bury would be comfortable in finishing that league okay, and so I because I've seen some people say, "Oh, Bury will come straight down." I'm like, no, I don't think they will.
No.
And at the minute we're seeing 4 worst teams in that league at the moment. I mean, Stamford, they're rock bottom, aren't they, at the moment? And then you've got Royston. I mean, I saw them the other night at Needham Market. And okay, fair enough, they had their keeper sent off for a professional foul, which it was. And then obviously the referee pulled up the double jeopardy law and gave a penalty as well. And I mean, Needham went on and won that game comfortably 6-1. But Royston, I didn't think they would be in the relegation zone this year, but they're right deep in it, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but they probably won't. You know what I mean? They, how they started the season. They got, their squad was packed with experience and really good, younger lads. And again, it will take a flip of the coin that they could get. They only need to go on a little bit of a run. And when you we went to Needham Market, and again, they're only just down the road from us, but they're a top team, a top club, who again they got relegated last year, but they've got well-established players that have played Step 2, which will have learnt a lot. And we went over there and they punished us. So any team like at this point of the season, I just think, like say, if you're in that relegation zone, I truly don't believe that is how it would finish.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've got a few tough games coming up. I mean, after obviously Bishop Stortford, you've got Spalding away on the Tuesday night, and then you're at home to Stratford, and then home to Barwell the week after that, and then away to Kettering. So the games are coming thick and fast. But again, anybody can beat anybody on that day.
Yeah, they can, and we're still at a point where you look at that and it's fantastic. We're playing against them teams. We only relish it as management and players. So we've just got to make sure that we've got enough depth and we keep people fit and we're doing the right things to give every game and every minute a good go.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, the games do come thick and fast in this league. I mean, James, you obviously you've been to Spalding, I think, this year, haven't you?
Yes, the 2 games. Well, yeah, 2 games I've been to is one Spalding and one Stamford game this season, and they look completely different compared to what people thought they would be. Like, speaking to the Stamford fans after the match, they feel like they're still keeping their fingers crossed that they can stay up. But when you look at it at the moment, they're 13 points behind staying up at the moment, so it's going to be a hard task for them. But then for Spalding, their fans are in an interesting mood, as you say, Tony, because they're interested to know if they can win this league or will battle with playoffs to go up in the playoffs. So it's going to be an interesting one there on that one. So yeah, but as you rightly say, both of you, anyone could beat anyone in this league. It happened this season quite a few times.
Yeah. I mean, who do you think is going to win this league, Paul? I mean, you look at Harborough Town; they probably look the strongest team, don't they?
Yeah, you sort of look at their setup. You look at their squad. You look at people that left out of their squad, and they've certainly got enough depth, got enough experience. They've got a really good manager. They've got the good ground. They've got obviously very healthy, budget. So I can't think you can look much further than them. Having said that, like I said, Rail Bedford the other night, I really like them. I like that they've gone purely youth. Their manager, he was a good player, but he's also, again, you can see he's very relaxed in how he wants them to play. He's not a shouter on the ball on the sidelines, and I fancy them. I do fancy them to be up there as well. So time will tell, but yeah, it would take a lot to nudge Harbour off, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Real Bedford have got money, haven't they? I mean, I went to, obviously last season, I went to the last game of the season when Bedford Town played Stourbridge, and they had to win that game to be promoted to the National League North. And I was speaking to some of their fans there, and they were saying that they were very close to actually being taken over by Real Bedford a few weeks before the end of that season. But the takeover actually fell through. And they were saying, like, Real Bedford's had something like 7 promotions in 9 years, and it's like it's just absolutely madness, And I think if they did go up to National League North, I think they'd be okay. But I think their ground's got to be well updated, because I've seen pictures of their ground and it doesn't, it needs a lot doing to it for going up to National League North.
Yeah, we played there on a Tuesday night away, and like I said, with that success comes ground improvements, and it would need a little bit of an overhaul. But when everybody, we talk about budgets, nobody knows anybody's budget really. Let's be honest with you, everybody's surmising. Nobody actually, apart from the people involved. And I still think if Rail Bedford have got a healthy budget, but he does squeeze the best out of what he's currently got there, and there are a lot of young lads. So I wouldn't, unless I'm being naive, I would say, I was in a position before when I was at Stowmarket Town when people were saying that we were chucking money, and we did have money, but it's nowhere near the sums of what people thought. You've got to be realistic in what you've got in your purse, and you've also got to be realistic. You've got to think of the future of the club as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's all right saying, "Oh well, I'll get promoted and go out this league," but then National League North is a tough league. As Needham Market found out last year, they come straight back down. It's a different level altogether, and you've got to invest a lot of money to stay in that league. I mean, Bedford Town are doing okay in that league this season at the moment, but as I say, I saw 3 games on Needham Market last season. I lost 1, drew 1, and won 1. And the one they won against Chorley, which I was quite shocked at, because at the time Chorley were flying high in 5th place. And Needham Market won that one. But you could see the quality, though. Watching Needham Market, you could see the difference in quality between them and some of the established National League North teams, and you can see why they came straight down.
Yeah, and like you said, I don't think people put enough emphasis on, like you said, you're in a league, whether or not it's step 4, step 3, and then into 2. It's really much like your recruitment's got to be spot on. You've got to put as much time and effort into that, and making sure you've got probably resource for that, because if you can get some little gems and you can get some little wins here and there with lads that maybe are falling out of the program, or you nick them off a team that's coming down, or and that's Needham Market to go into that league and do what they did. Yeah, all right, they got relegated, but they've given it a hell of a go. And if you look at the squad that went up, it wasn't too different to what took them down. So they stayed loyal to what got them there, which again is admirable. And if you speak to any of them lads, they enjoyed it in an experience. and learnt a lot and enhanced their reputations and their careers for it.
Yeah. I mean, one player I am really impressed with that Bury got this season is George Contrell. What a player he is. Oh, he's a hell of a player, isn't he, Paul?
Yeah, George is. He's a little bit unique, really. He's a little bit of a maverick. He's quite hard to coach. If I'm honest, he's best at landing in the box on things, but sometimes again he's like, what I liken to him, he's like a kid in the playground that when it isn't quite going well, he'll find himself dropping deeper and trying to start a move rather than ending a move. We're just trying to drip feed him with little bits of trying to, to make him a better player, but also when you're in areas of the pitch and you've got patterns of play, that he stays away from that till it's his part to take part in that pattern and finish it off. And he's still very much learning it. And I think if he can grasp that part of it and be patient enough to maybe get in the second or third or fourth phase of play, he'll be a player that we won't be able to hold on to.
Yeah. So you're hoping to hold on to him after this season?
I'll do my very best.
Yeah, you got, if staying up in this league, you've got to keep George Contrell. He's going to be a cracking player. He really is, and I've liked what I've seen of him so far. And like you see, he can get better and better.
I'll have to lock him up in the cathedral and throw away his phone for the out of season, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. Scott's coming. He says, who from the relegation zone will stay up, do you think, this season in the Prem Central? So at the moment in the bottom four, obviously, we've got Stourbridge, Sudbury, Royston and Stamford Rock Bottom.
That's not a question for me, surely. We've still got to go to some of these places. I don't want to be pelted from the sidelines.
No, exactly. Do you think anybody out of that four will stay up, James?
Oh, I'm having a look at the moment. I would probably, if the Stamford fans are optimistic, I don't think Stamford will, but I think maybe Stourbridge or Sudbury have the best chance of staying up, I think, personally, with some of the fixtures they've got coming up and also the points they've got compared to the other two. Don't you agree there? I think on that one, Tony, because it's Stamford is 13 points to close that gap is just, I think at the moment, I know only just over, I think it's like a third of the way through the season, but I still think that's a massive gap to close in on at this stage of the season, really. But then at the same time, I don't know if any of them will stay up, so we could see it staying as we are, really, with the 4 teams in the relegation zone going down.
Yeah, I look at it and that. I mean, you've got to look at Sudbury and think, well, I had them in my preview to say that they wouldn't stay in this league, that they would go down this season. So I had Sudbury for going down, and I think I had Stamford in there to go down as well. So there's 2 teams I've got in the relegation zone. But I look at Sudbury's goal difference -25, and to be honest with you, yeah, okay, they might get a few results now and then, but I don't think they'll stay up this season. I think they'll be in Isthmian League North next season. Sudbury fans.
Yeah, but I think the one game that you need to look at for that one, Tony, very quickly, is this weekend coming up. Because if you don't know what game it is this weekend, it is Sudbury away at Stamford this weekend.
That's a 6-pointer for both sides, then, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it's going to be a really interesting one on that one. I think is going to win that.
Yeah, because I think it's January in it, Paul, when Bury go to Sudbury.
Yeah, believe it is. Yeah, which is believe it or not, chaps, we've already been there and got hit for 4 in the trophy,
wasn't there?
So yeah, if anything doesn't strike out at you that anyone can beat anyone on a given day, and that is a cup game, but yeah, there you go. So. Yes, again, it just goes to show that we're in November and you're already saying it's a 6-pointer. It's interesting, really, because if somebody loses in that, again, they could pick up and go on a run. they could get their recruitment in order and all of a sudden come out of it. So it's hard to say, but I'll let you put your tin hat on and say Sudbury, mate, and get pelted for it in January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'll beat that game for the away end. But yeah, definitely. But but no, look, I mean, I was at that trophy game when you lost 4-0, if you remember, Paul, because I was talking to you at the time. But that was just a weird game, and maybe Sudbury just wanted it because it was FA Trophy. Because in the league they haven't really done that well. I mean, Worcester hammered them 6-1 at Sudbury. So it's funny because cup games, some teams can raise their games for it, and then when it goes back to league games, they sort of just drop their standards again. I think, I mean, looking ahead to that game in January, I think you'll want to go back there and come out with a positive result, and I think Bury can do that.
I would always, I'll just say that in that game we didn't want to go any further in the trophy, did we? We just no, only joking. But we, of course we need to reverse that. That's one because it's a local derby, that hurt, and I'd like to get even this season. We've beat them in the league once, so hopefully we can go back to their place and do that as well.
Yeah. Mason's, and he's got a question for you, Paul. He says, how has been working with Cole Scouse with the playing career he has had?
Really good question. Humbling. He hopefully isn't watching this because I know he doesn't like me, speaking too much about him, to be fair. But first of all, a really fantastic human being, honest. His coaching style, again, is current to where it should be in terms of how you speak to players. His detail on the training pitch, again, you don't ever think you've learned everything, but when you see him work on the training pitch, you can't help but sort of admire the style that he goes around and how he does stuff. We jumped off each other in talking about how non-league works with the hours you get with players and how do we fit the best structure in. So that's been really positive between us and worked. But he's best when he's on the grass. But it's been, like I said, brilliant. What more could you say with somebody that's played that amount of league games at the level he has? If you can't learn stuff off of him, bounce off of him, give him stuff to think about. It's worked really well. It's worked really well for me in terms of development, if I'm honest. And it's, again, very thought-provoking. You don't never really go away from a game and think, we haven't learnt nothing here. The questions are always posed. And so, in answer to your question, really, really top person, good coach. And like I said, if none of us, behind him haven't learned anything, then it would be crying shame. So,
yeah, I mean, I've spoken to Cole a few times, and he's just like that common influence, isn't he? And he is a terrific guy, he really is. And for what he's done for Bury Town, I mean, it's his first managerial post as well, isn't it? So,
yeah, not you don't. No one ever wants to lose him in any way, shape, or form. But he should be managing league football without a doubt. With his detail and in his knowledge and, like I say, how he comes across. He's just got. I personally think he's got the full package. So, whether I don't think that's his aspiration by any means, by the way. But I just think football needs people like him.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I'm going to say it now, but some of the refereeing in this league this season, I've seen some horrendous decisions. I was at St Ives on Saturday, and I saw the referee there. He gave a soft penalty to Needham Market. Even the Needham player said after the game, he don't know how he got that penalty because he wasn't even touched. And then obviously the linesman gave the penalty for St Ives because the referee wasn't going to give them a penalty, and the linesman flagged for the penalty. And again, another soft penalty. It just seems that sometimes the referees in this league are just not at a great standard. But then you do see the odd referee who is actually quite decent. Because the one I saw on Tuesday, he wasn't too bad at all. I mean, he got the decision right with the red card. Because, as I say, the Needham player pushed the ball past the Royston keeper, and the keeper decided to just stand there and block him from getting past. So it's a professional foul all day, in the correct decision. But I mean, how have you found the refereeing standards this season, Paul?
Well, when you've been at step 4 and you see the referee in there, and then you jump to 3, it's better, a lot better. The only thing I feel that we suffer from is that they obviously, because of the lack of refs around, that they're promoting people too quickly. So yes, there's definitely people that have got potential, but then get pushed into step 3, and clearly I don't think they can handle it. But then I do have to laugh, because then when you turn around in the stand and you see an assessor who's not really played the game, and they're giving, somebody who's in their early infinity of refereeing, and then they're standing with them an hour before the game, and you're kind of thinking, well, I hate to think what they're trying to drip feed into them, or what they think that they can possibly add, if I'm honest. And I think that puts pressure on the younger ones. So, in answer to your question, I think the refereeing has been good in patches, but I also think, like I say, they're pushing young lads into situations where they're not quite ready for it, which does spoil certain games.
Yeah, and it puts just so much added pressure on their shoulders. And, at the end of the day, they've got a tough job, referees and, the officials. And it's just absolutely shambolic when they are trying to promote these younger lads, like you say, into a higher league when really they're not ready for that league.
No, and I think, like I said, it's whether we don't look at the numbers, so we don't know how that works in terms that they have to do it. But I still think there's, this from looking from the outside in, there's certainly lads that could do with another 1 or 2 seasons level below, just to learn the dark arts of the game and see things in a different perspective. I think they can be easily influenced by somebody sitting in the stand thinking they've got to give stuff. We've had a lot of instances where referees and linesmen don't even want to talk or engage, and they've got that arrogance about them. And we very much go on that if you talk to us, we'll talk to you, and that's what it's all about. It's no different to you're going to work. You wouldn't say to your boss isn't so arrogant, just get on with it and don't speak to me. It's a two-way thing, and that's how it should be, but it isn't a lot of the time.
Yeah. Peter's got a question. He says, for Paul, what's your favourite part of management jobs that you've had?
Oh, yeah. Quite a good organiser, if I'm honest. So I like it when, 5 o'clock on a Saturday and all the all your ducks are in a row, whether or not that's the training set up, making sure that we've got all the set plays correct, and then you're sitting there on a 5 o'clock knowing that your input has had some weight, and we've given some people some smiles on their faces. So yeah, it's a tough job. There's parts of it you don't enjoy, and there's moments where you've got to have tough conversations and feed between people and keep people happy. But I'm probably most happy, like I said, when we're training, and then you got the detail, and then you get into a match day and it comes off.
Yeah. And I've got another one in. Lee says, Muzzy, how's the pitch looking so far this season?
Yeah, it was. I know Lee very well. How you doing, Lee? Pitch is doing really well. Previous to last weekend, we had heavy rainfall, didn't we, on Friday, where it put a lot of games in doubt. We were obviously away, so didn't think it would really impact us. But we got to the ground Tuesday, and the groundsman, Arnie's terrific bloke. Forever trying to please us and get a perfect pitch, and you've seen it enough times, Tony. But he was apologising the other night, just saying, look, couldn't get on there. It was too wet, and it was probably the first time I looked at it and thought, if we do get a lot of wet weather and he struggles to get on there, it could become a bog quite quickly. But we've got faith in Arnie, our groundsman, and like I said, I'm hoping that he'll turn it round. And normally it's a carpet to play on, and you only have to see the players turning up and sticking their phones out and putting it on their reels. So yeah, pictures hopefully all right, Lee.
Yeah, the picture's beautiful at Bury, really is.
Looks it.
Chip says, Paul, what's your dream job in football and why?
Ooh.
Some tough questions, yeah.
There is some big ones coming up. At least nobody stitched it up so far. Lee might come back and stitch me up, to be fair. Dream job. Depends how far you want to take it, really. I've got a really good career out of football, and there's always that balance. Cole's got a really good job outside football, but whether or not you could ever jump into professional game, but it's always a risk and a gamble. I feel like you could be in a job for 3 months and then out again, and you've chucked your career away. So I think I'd be realistic on the answer to this question at this point in time. I'd love to keep progressing Bury as far as we could with the management team and the players that we've got. And I'd like then to be able to look back on it in years to come and feel like I've really added something to my local club, and that people do talk about the success stories that we had last year, and hopefully there's a few more in years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Pete says hello. Mason's got another question. He says, how's Tommy Hughes been as I've seen him play for Kings Lynn in the National League North?
Yeah, hopefully that's not a loaded question, because Tommy's fantastic. He's been fantastic. He's somebody who's hungry to progress. He's brilliant on the ball. He picks passes that nobody else can see at times. So yeah, he's been fantastic. Again, it's really difficult for Hughesy. Hughesy was at Ipswich, then got released from Ipswich, and off he went to Kings Lynn, and that was still full time. So he's still in that full-time mode of being, having the tag of a professional footballer. It's only that obviously management changed in Kings Lynn in the summer, and Cole's relationship from his Ipswich days that we managed to get Hughesy with us. He's now gone into a part-time job as well as his football, so he's adjusting. And like I said to you earlier in the conversation, that adjustment and trying to nurture people through so they can find their right pathway in life. And you're trying to do it with your best interest because you don't want to be selfish.
Yeah.
But he's been fantastic, and he's very much an important cog in our wheel to make us play how we want to play.
Peter's got a question for you now. He says, how many years do you think you need before you can go up, or do you think you can go to the National League with Bury ever before you retire?
Good questions here, isn't there?
Question, isn't it? Yeah, these questions are good, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So, in answer to your question, there's got to be a lot of things that fall in place at the right time, and that's, everybody's got to be in the right trajectory at the right time. Everybody's got to be able to do it to start off with. Everybody's got, the chairman's got a business, volunteers have got businesses, they work, they do this. So again, all the stars have got to align. It could happen. Don't get me wrong, it could happen, and it's something we forever strive for. We're always striving for improvements, whether it be small or large, and again, the club do it in a sustainable way, which is why they've been a really popular club and healthy club for many years. So do I think I'll do it before we retire? Yeah, of course we will. Of course we will. Yeah, hold on to that question and bring it back up when we do. But yeah, if I didn't say yes, I wouldn't be in the right job.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee says, great interview and chat. No stitch up, mate. Well done. I'll drop off some lem sip, lol.
Much appreciated. As long as it's lem sip and nothing else.
Fraser's asking how you get on with the chairman.
Ah, brilliant! Yeah, Russell Ward's a really, a really good chairman. He's been with the club many moons, saved the club as well when it didn't have such a good spell many years ago. So, and again, he holds the club very level, on a level ground. There, said he takes criticism, he takes questions, he takes a lot of prodding from us as well. But he's forever got the club in his heart and making sure that that we don't get ahead of ourselves, and making sure that he's also making a sustainable club and the right improvements at the right time.
Yeah. Owen's asking how George Quantrell's doing, as he saw him a few times last season. If we've not spoken about him, yeah, we did. We spoke about George a little bit earlier. So, if you want to have a look back when the show's finished, then you can always go back to that bit and watch it back. But we did speak about him earlier on. But what we're going to do is we're going to let Paul go, because he's been on with us for an hour, which has been absolutely fantastic to have Paul on, and I thank him for coming on. It's been great. I know Charlie's trying to come on the channel one day, but it's obviously just trying to fix up a date with Charlie to get him on. Because he's a cracking keeper.
That'd be entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh, that will be entertaining. Yes, he's a great lad, Charlie. I like Charlie. He's a good lad.
Yeah. Yeah, really good.
So I just want to say thank you for coming on tonight, Paul. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate.
Much appreciated. Really enjoyed talking to you both, and like I say, I hope to see you at a game soon.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll hopefully see you soon, Paul, and we'll catch up with a game, no doubt, mate.
I'll try and get down.
Thank you, Paul. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
I will. See you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Paul.
Bye.
So there we are. So we had Paul on tonight, which has been absolutely brilliant. Great guy. Spoke very well. Your thoughts, James?
Yeah, very good. Spoke very nicely about Bury Town and how are they going to be doing. It'll be interesting to see how they play, Tony, as we say, in the next couple of fixtures, because as you were talking about, their next fixtures are away at Bishop Stortford, away at Spalding, then Stratford at home and Barwell at home. So they're the next four. So I could see a good couple of results there for them, and they could creep further away from the relegation zone and be cementing the mid-table that he said he would want to be right now, which I do think they could be up to like 12, 13, 14, something like that. So in the mid-table section, and have a good end to the season. But it's good to get insights from different managers from different clubs in, and talk about how they play in their leagues and how they do and what they do with the managing style and everything.
Yeah, we've had some great questions in tonight for Paul. I mean, some fantastic questions. And this is what's good about these shows, because people come on and ask a question, and it's great that they can get these answers, We've had some great guests on so far on these shows. I'm just going to run through some comments now. Fraser says, has Paul got any ambitions to be a manager for Bury one day? Unfortunately, we've lost Paul to that, but I'm sure that's a question he may want to answer. The Tuna says, got to run, liked and sub, great channel, thanks for the link, interesting stuff. I'll be back when I see it. No problem. Thank you very much indeed for that. That's great. And thank you for Pete for sending them this way. Anthony Bell says, good show, guys. Interesting Bury chat with their fan base, only a matter of time before they reach a National League. Well, as Paul said, you'd love to be up there before he retires, and you just never know. But
sorry, very quickly, Tony, but you are right in saying, though, that their attendances are really good. Their lowest attendance apparently in the league at home is 510. So that just shows you how good they are in this league to not get any attendances under, say, 510, because Bury are a club on the rise. It looks like.
very well supported club, Bury is. I mean, even last year they were getting great attendances, so yeah.
If you see some
And-
teams in this league, like Stamford, who are getting some games like 200-300 on Tuesday night, and then 300-400 on a Saturday, and it just shows that they've been in this league for a couple of years now, and it's really good to see that Bury, still with their fan base from last season, are growing even more.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it is. It's a great club. I mean, if you've never been to Bury Town, get yourselves along, and honestly, you won't be disappointed. And I can't wait till John goes there, because I will be there to meet John, and
try and tell him to not get a burger, because he always gets a burger everywhere he goes.
Oh, well, yeah, but he's got to have a burger at Bury Town. He can't not have a burger there. He's got to. The burgers are lovely there at Bury. I love the burgers there.
Okay then.
And the food prices are really reasonable there as well. So, and so's the beer price as well. It's not bad at all, considering you go to Cambridge City, who are a division below, and they charge $6.50 for a pint. So, it just shows you. But yeah, hopefully, when John goes there, hopefully he gives a good marks, and because Bury is really, and I mean, for like not just for marks, for like how the ground is, but also for the atmosphere as well, because the atmosphere there is, I tell you what, when it's rocking there, it's rocking, and I mean it's rocking. It's there's nowhere else you'd want to be, So yeah, absolutely brilliant. But as I say, it's been absolutely fantastic tonight. A shame that John Gaiman-Blum couldn't make tonight, but I'm sure he will catch up on the show at some point. But I have plugged his series to Paul for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
And James, do you just want to give a shout out about your channel?
Yeah, I've just seen a comment, so I'll quickly say it. Somebody called Owen just messaging saying, "Great stream. What do you prediction for Bury?" I think that means league form. Where do you think they could finish, Tony?
Personally, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be fine. I did say that in me. Pre-season review of the Southern League. I did say that they would be okay. I think I even went as far as saying they'd probably finish mid-table, in all honesty. And I still stand by that. I do. I don't think they've got anything to worry about. They've got no worries about the bottom four at all. I think they'll be fine. I do, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think just looking at them, they honestly could probably get mid-table this season. So anywhere, you're probably looking about. I'm going to make a bold prediction here and say they're going to finish around the 10th, 11th mark this season, somewhere like that. Maybe even just at 12th or 12th, because they've got a squad together. They've got the players, the manager, the managing team work, as we've heard tonight, quite well, well together. And I think they could do it. To be fair, I think in this one, I think they can get mid-table. Like you, agree with you.
Yeah, I do, absolutely. I do think they'll get mid-table, if I'm honest, because as I say, there's a lot of games there they can win, and I've seen some games where they should have won the game, like Spalding. They could have beat Spalding, in honesty. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, they've got very quickly, Tony, an interesting run here, which I think is very beatable to beat the teams here, which is on the 20th from the 20th of December. They've got Stourbridge at home, then away to Sudbury, home to Leiston, and then away to Royston. So that could be an interesting little run there for them if it's still the same at the bottom.
Anthony Ball says, Harbour Town unbeaten in Southern Premier. Do you think they're champions elect? Do you know what it is? I look at that and I think they could well be. The big game is when they play Spalding, and that's on the 10th of January, and that's away at Spalding. tell you what, that's going to be a heck of a game. And I think if Harbour Town beats Spalding, I think they're going to win the league. I really do. And it all depends. Saying that though, but it all depends where, as I say, if they can beat Spalding. But I do see Harbour are too strong in this league, and I think they will go on and win the league.
Yeah,
but again, they played Sudbury the other week, and they drew 1-1 with Sudbury, or 2-2, whatever it was. But
it's cool.
Yeah, it was 2-2 because that was the night I was at Bury when they played Lakenheath in the cup, and I couldn't believe that result. I absolutely thought Harbour would have took them apart, but they didn't. And so I suppose the manager of Harbour wouldn't have been very happy with the draw, but it's a draw. But I think the game against Spalding is the 6 pointers for them. And if they beat Spalding twice and do the double over them, then I think they go up Harbour Town absolutely without a doubt. But Game and Blomp did a vlog there the other night, Corn, and Mitch spoke really well, and he doesn't seem to think of the aspect that people go, oh, well, Harbour's got money to spend. He doesn't work on that. He works on the determination of the players and how hard they work. And that's absolutely crucial. You can have all the money in the world. You can buy all the great players, but they've got to gel together. And
agreed.
If you've got a team there that's gelled together and that, they're winning it, then you've just got to say, let them do it, But yeah, do you think, James, Harbour's going to be the champions of this league?
I was talking to, as you were saying, John Gaming Blog about this, and he said that I told him the two teams side-by-side fixtures, so in this one. So if I can find it, let me find you Harbour's fixtures coming up now until end of 2025 for you. So it is Worcester at the weekend, then it's Redditch, Barwell, Bishop Stortford, then an FA Trophy match against Carlisle, and then it's Stamford, Stourbridge, Needham Market away, that is on the 20th of December, Kettering on the 27th. So that's their fixtures, and I think, if you want to know, Tony, that is better than what Spalding have, because Spalding have a harder, I think, games coming up, which are Needham Market at home on Saturday, which you're going to. We then have Bury at home, then away to Redditch, a home to Leiston, away to Worcester, home to Worcester, home to Real Bedford, home to Stamford, and home to that's it. So I think that's a harder fixtures than what what Harbour have. So if I have to be honest, I think by January anyway, it might not even be a 6-pointer. It might be Harbour in the lead by 6 or 7 points anyway at that point. So it's hard for then the gap to be closed. But I can see Harbour slipping up this season. As I say, I don't think they'll go. No, I don't think they'll go unbeaten this year. I'm going to say that.
Yeah. But guys, do drop James a subscribe. Non-league James Boyle. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, get over there, give him a subscribe. Great channel. It's got some great content on there. If you haven't seen any of it, get on there and check it out. Really good.
Thanks for that, Tony.
It's been absolutely fantastic tonight. Now we'll just go through the bits at the end here, and then
Sounds good.
Before we head off. So if you have enjoyed tonight's show, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. If you haven't done it already, then please do smash that thumbs up. It does help the channel. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, get down there, hit that subscribe. Come and join this great community. Also, hit the bell notification. That will let you know when I'm live, have any pre-records, or I've got any upcoming vlogs. You can become a member at any time by clicking that join button. It is only 99p a month. And as I say, if you do want to make a donation, just hit the $ in the chat. All money is reinvested in this channel to bring you these cracking shows and also great match vlogs as well.
Mm-hmm.
So far, let's have a recap on this series. This is our 4th episode. We've had Tom Rothery from Needham Market, the manager. He was on. Then we've had Barry Druitt Barlow, the owner of Malden and Tiptree, was on. That was an absolute cracking show as well. Last week we had Ben from Carlton Town, who was absolutely brilliant as well. And then tonight we've had the brilliant Paul Musgrove. Paul is absolutely fantastic, from Berrytown. And who we got next week? Well, you'll just have to wait and find out for that one. It'll be a little bit of a cliffhanger. We'll keep you hanging on for that one. But look, just enjoy these shows. And this is going to be a regular feature every Thursday. So get that in your diaries. Make sure you put it on your calendars, on your phone, so you know that the show's coming up, and you won't miss a show as well. But also, as I say, if you hit them bell notifications, then obviously that will keep you up to date with everything. And if you've been coming through James's channel where we stream sharing it, do drop him a subscribe as well. Mason says, who we got on next week? You'll have to wait and find out for that one. But anyway, it's been an absolute blast night. It's been a pleasure, guys. It's been brilliant. And thank you again to James.
That's all right.
Coming on tonight. And look, we'll see you all next week. But until then, enjoy the rest of your evening. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And I'll just have a word with you backstage, James. So here we go. Enjoy the outro. Bye-bye, everybody.